Trouble and strife all of their lives. Seen them in factories and shopping malls, out in the suburbs and in rich men's halls. Caught in the chain, something must change. Tribesmen mourn and the cavemen long for the woman's day. Will come, or yet gonna. Now every woman and every man have to get along as best as they can. As master and slave, is that what God gave? Now is the time for the new life, for equality between man and wife, for control of yourself, not somebody else. There's wise men's ways and the cavemen laws for the woman's day. Will come, will come.
When we were little, this is how we thought about marriage and divorce. Later, we had a period of free sex. Then we tried yoga, shrinks, clothes, politics, poetry, diets, bitterness, drinking, money and revenge. By the time we settled down with one man, we had learned that a woman has to do her own thing as well. Our ideas and lives varied, but in general it felt like this. Sometimes we noticed this happening. Working to put him through school, his friends, housework, intellectual proof, a good slap, honey, baby. Sometimes we had babies to reassert ourselves. But really, him. When people talked about smashing monogamy, we remembered the period of free sex and got scared. When we tried to put it into practice, things often worked out like this. Big deal. A man described what it would be like after monogamy was smashed. I thought this was scary, but I was afraid to say so because I didn't want to sound like the clinging type. At some point we all brought whatever we had to a women's collective. The first meeting was like this. We had a hard time and a lot of things happened. While I was tripping once, I thought about being together and separate, sort of like this. I feel like we're moving towards this. I mean, not there yet. Many of us felt like this beginning to happen. Even some of us who are not with men felt this. It made us afraid of this, or even this. But the whole point of it all is to achieve this. And every once in a while we felt like this. It was scary for the men. We began to see that a lot of them felt like this. Some men seem to want to do this, but we are too small and that would make us an awfully weird shape. But the men seem mainly afraid of this. Those of us who were with men are trying to do something like this. It could work like this, or maybe even this. But nobody can figure out all that in theory. It has to be worked out according to how we feel. It doesn't have much to do with rules about who sleeps with who, or how many people, or what sex they are. That also depends on what we want and what feels right. But remember, we started out like this. There's a lot of pain and risk and fear in the changes we want. If you think there's not, you don't understand yet. The best hope for our relationships with men is that we keep this in mind. That means Love ourselves and each other from choice this time. Many relationships will not survive these changes. Often men's fears will make them fight against us. Often women will decide the whole thing is too painful or impossible or not even worth it. More and more women will choose not to relate to men at all, and many will continue to live with men and try to work through it. But for all of us, the most important thing is that for the first time, we are beginning to feel like this.